So well, it's crazy because when I watch Jim and Cam go at it, man, I'd be like, God damn. A lot of me, when I see the whole dynamic, one thing I do know is that Jimmy, like, was real loyal and loved Cam more than anybody. I could say that. And as far as I could just by outside looking in, but then being kind of inside within the source and everything, and just watching his career and a fan of the music, you know what I'm saying, of their music in the group. Um, that's one thing nobody could ever deny. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like Jim really had Cam's back, and there was an incident at Privé that kind of showed me he did. And I never told the story, but this it's a true story.
The
So
best time.
yeah, and like I said, a lot of times when I tell these stories, it's not to bring up old beefs or anything, but it's just really because and I'm gonna say this, like, shout out to Jim Jones, because what he's done, when you look at Jim, right? You people always probably looked at Cam and Jules to be the ones that's gonna blow first because of the talent, right? And I know that feeling of being in a group where the other guys might have been, and people might have thought they were doper lyricists than you, and it might have been true. It might have been true, you know what I'm saying? But you find a way to make it and do it. Like that right there gives you the motivation. I see Jim in me. I see us kind of in that realm of the same. So what he's done is dope. You know what I'm saying? Like he's overly kept his brand where nobody thought it would be. Some of his ways to get it there, like the Nas thing, was a little crazy, but at the end of the day, you can't. Yeah, a man's gonna be a man, and you can't
What?
you can't you can't never tell a man what to do and how to do it. A man gotta find out the easy way, the hard way. So,
That was a reach
but
though. The Nas, that was a
yeah, of
reach.
course, everybody knows that. He knows that.
Yeah,
He even knows that. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? But guess what? Look at what it did virally. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
So,
He's finagling the internet. The man, he knows what he's doing
but
at this point.
the thing is, so me and Jim, so I'm walking, I'm coming out, me and my man 2Gs. Now 2Gs, God rest Huddy. I met through Huddy. You know what I'm saying? Huddy and Cam, 2Gs, no Cam, like, you know what I'm saying? Harlem, like, those are my niggas. We have a relationship. Got love for them all. Han, you know what I'm saying? Like the whole crew in Miami. 2Gs from Mount Vernon, but he came to Mount Yonkers, but he came to either Mount Vernon, Yonkers, like they close. So we coming out. I'm feeling good. I got all my jewelry on, and I'm strapped up. You know what I mean? So I'm getting ready to get in the whip. It's just me and Jeezy that night, and I just remember I see Jim and Chip. You know, it's Ali Zoe. Y'all know him as Ali Zoe. You know what I'm saying? And
That
this
part.
is when, yeah, this is before the dreads. This is when he had the braids, the short braids. He was just growing his hair. So I so
Hmm.
so I I've been known Zoe. Me and Zoe cool. So we walking across the street to go get the whips. And I see Jim. Now I'm tipsy as you know what I'm saying? Jim probably tipsy. I said, yo, I said, listen, man, this is around the time where he had the syrup, like the scissor, the drink.
Yeah, I remember that.
And we was advertising in the source and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
So I'm like, yo, look, bro. I'm like, yo, me with the purple bar. I said, yo, check it, right? Straight up, man. Congratulations on that. I said, for real, my nigga. Now we in the middle of the street. Jim says, man, yeah, that's cool and all, but am I gonna have to start beating up every that don't put Cam on the cover of the show? So look, right? So I stopped in the middle of the street by the yellow line. I couldn't believe what the he said. I said, huh? I said, bro, like, I said, no, no, no. So I had the strap. So I took the strap out, gave it to Jeezy. I took my jewelry off. Cause I'm thinking like shit, this getting ready to go down. I'm looking at Chip. Chip's just looking like, what the fuck is going on? I start getting kind of loud. I'm like, yo, I'm not no magazine nigga. Like I just came up here and gave you a fucking compliment. You know what I'm saying? I said, I don't do, I said, if anything, I said, who do you think was responsible for y'all getting y'all's cover, Dipset cover by the plane and all that? I said, so we start kind of like we going back and forth, and because I'm like, well, look, I'm thinking me and him are getting ready, shit. Then you're gonna start with me, then, you know what I'm saying? Because I didn't even understand. I'm like, fuck it, I'm a little drunk, so I just remember the police was down there and they was trying to get us out the middle of the street. So he walked up. He was like, he's like, y'all gonna get out the street and everything. He didn't know it was any type of disagreement, nothing. Talking about the cop.
Mm-hmm.
So then we walk across the street, and then basically, Jim comes up to me. Jim like kind of like, yo, why you gotta get so hostile? That's what he said. Why you gotta get so hostile? I said, yo, my nigga. I said, like, you know what I mean? I'm giving you a fucking compliment, my nigga. And I'm explaining. I'm like, yeah, like, come on. They're like, so we ended up squashing it. And I say this, you know what I'm saying? We ended up squashing it. I think we even exchanged numbers. But it's like he was really going hard for Cam. You feel me? That's what I took out of all that. I didn't take nothing like it was like some, him and Chip jumped in their car, jumped in my car. But just the fact that he was like, man, y'all gonna put Killer on the cover. Am I gonna have to start knocking niggas out? I was like, what? So, but he was really riding for him. You
That
know what I'm
part.
saying? So when I see this now, when I see them go back, I'm like, damn, I don't know, man. It's hard, man. It's hard, man. Egos, man. Egos, man, you know, traumas, triggers, you know what I'm saying? Like man, everybody, when you start seeing the closest of the closest go through it, it's almost like everybody.
Yeah, you
I
should have
I
cut
went
out for a
through it
minute. Yeah.
with me and my crew. You know what
So
I'm
now
saying? Shit,
the
made men broke up. We ain't been back. So I get it, man. Like, I get it and I don't get it. It's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? But every major crew, see, even me doing the Source Awards, I'm a fan of all these groups growing up with them, growing as hip hop's growing, the groups are growing, I'm loving it because I always came from a group. But now everybody broke. Every group done had problems with each other. You know what I'm saying? It's usually it's sometimes over finances, sometimes it's over a chick, sometimes you know what I'm saying. It's always the same reasons. It's only like three of maybe four reasons why niggas break up. But yeah, man. So yeah, that was what I mean. I kind of hope they get their shit together because since Jim done built his brand up, Cam is doing good with his talk show. They could come together and really make some things happen. Put that silly shit aside. But time will tell.
so you gave him a compliment and he's still threatening you after the compliment.
I mean, I don't, I'm be honest. I'm gonna keep it
I
100.
take that as a threat. I ain't trying
Look
to,
at, look at, look
this
at.
is
I didn't. No,
not
no, no,
past
no, no,
that.
no, no, no. But I didn't. It to me, because again, I'm strapped. So you know what I mean? Like if I took it as a threat, then I wouldn't have gave Jeezy my shit. You know what I'm saying? I took it out. I'm sure they seen me and just gave it to Jeezy and said, "Hold this," and started because I'm thinking we about to square up. I didn't take it. I don't even know if I was like I was more or less shocked. You know what I'm saying? Like, huh? Like, you know what I mean? Like, cause we never really spoke like that. And I remember one time Jewels, I think we made men, we was on tour and somehow we was in Virginia or somewhere, and we was at the spot where it was Timberland inside the party. It was a club. Timberland. This was years ago. Timberland, Jewels, man. Something happened with Jewels. Came to me. I don't even know how to. It was like random that we even. You know, we out. It was a club, and it wasn't a club that we was hosting or anything.
Mm-hmm.
We just was in somehow we was in the club in Virginia, but we was on tour, and I just remember maybe we was hosts. I don't know, but I just remember Jules come up to me like, "Yo, man, these niggas is looking at me, man. Can we?" He had a lot of juice on, so he was thinking niggas was gonna try him for his shit. So I said, "Nah, fuck that. Come over here with us." We was strapped. So he came over and just chilled with us the whole time. Shout out to my man Jinx. Jinx and Timberland had words about some shit. So Jinx took Timberland to the back. Then they had words back there. I don't know what the fuck that was. You know what I'm saying? But we was wild back then. We was deep. We was wild. And yeah, so it was always love. Like, you know what I mean? I felt like when Jewels came up, it was like, yeah, man, come on, of course, my nigga, come on, we got you. You know what I'm saying? Him and his
That
man
part.
came and chilled. He had a bunch of chains on too. So you know what I
That
mean? But
part.
yeah.
So once again, we was talking about Privé, man, just to bring everything full circle. We was talking about Privé and just historical and how your impression that you left on the city, right? So like I said, you named a lot of key players throughout the city. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And the people you know that I know also, man. Rich history. Now, this the point where we gotta start talking about some things, right? The shit
Yeah.
that's really going on the internet.
Yes.
As in, like, let's start off with Stephen A. Smith, right?
Stephen A.
In
Smith.
which you propositioned, you challenged him to a boxing match. Am I correct? That
Yeah,
part.
yeah, yeah. Because you know why? You know why? This is how I look. Look, first of all,